I've been locked up for 264 days. I have nothing but a small notebook and a broken pen and the numbers in my head to keep me company. 1 window, 4 walls, 144 square feet of space, 26 letters in an alphabet I haven't spoken in 264 days of isolation, 6,336 hours since I've touched another human being. We're getting you a roommate, they said to me. For good behavior, they said to me.
Hi guys, my name's Katie and welcome to my first actual YouTube video. Thank you. Thank you. Really, thank you. As you know from the title, today I'm going to be doing a little rundown on one of our favorite dystopian fantasies, the Shatter Me series. But not including the novellas or the spin-off series because I haven't read that yet. So just the original 2 trilogies. But before we start, let's be real. Who wants to sit here and listen to someone droning on for 20 minutes reading off a Wikipedia summary? Not me. I don't want to sit here and bore you guys to death for 20 minutes, personally. So that being said, if you want a dry summary, this is not the video for you. And see the video down there? Yeah, the one that says subscribe? Click it. Go on. Click it. Click it. Just kidding. But if you want to, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now let's start by doing a quick overview of our main characters. We start off with Juliette as our main character, and as you all know, since it's a big thing in the series, her energy or her ability is her lethal touch, which we later discover there's more to her ability than just that. Then we have my bestie Kenji, who is Juliette's best friend and Aaron's barber. If you know, you know. Kenji has the ability to turn invisible, which we find out later that he shares with Nazira. Next we have our beloved antisocial murderer, Aaron Warner, who's Juliette's love interest, and he has the ability to steal other people's powers and feel their emotions. Then some other important characters are Nazira, Hader, Adam, Brendan, Castle, Alia, Winston, Stefan, Ian, and Anderson, who is James, Adam, and Aaron's dad. Book 1, Shatter Me. So we start off the book with Juliette in an asylum where she is slowly descending into insanity from a combination of isolation and the cruel conditions she's been subjected to for her entire life. We have this boy coming in, and we don't know his name yet, but instead of just calling him unnamed boy, since if you're watching this video, you obviously know he's Adam. So Adam comes in, and Juliette is like, get him away from me, she's freaking out, which rightfully so, I would be freaking out as well if a random boy came in and was like smashing our beds together and stealing my blankets, because like, hello. Sharing is caring. She was in there by herself for, it was, one moment, somewhere in between like 200 and 300 days. I don't remember the exact number, but it's like almost a year. And he doesn't know that no one can touch her yet, and because of that, he assumes she's just in there because she's crazy. So he's kind of all like, we soon figure out by Juliette's very chaotic inner monologue that she likes Adam, or that she finds him, well, I guess she likes Adam, and that she finds him familiar, which she doesn't realize where she knows him from yet, but she recognizes those eyes. And then we have Warner coming to get them out of the cell, and we find out that the whole time Adam was actually a soldier. Betrayal. And we also find out that Warner wants to use Juliette, specifically her power that she has, like her ability in the war, as a sort of, I don't want to say a weapon because that just sounds weird, but it's a weapon. So they move Juliette onto the base, and then Adam is assigned to sleep with her on the floor in her room. And we find out that Adam actually kept her journal that she's been writing in, and that Adam isn't the loyal soldier that we thought he was. Then Warner orders this soldier named Jenkins to touch Juliette, and obviously when he does, he's like writhing around in pain because, you know, deadly touch and all. So we find out that Adam can touch Juliette, so then Adam and Juliette make a plan to run away together. So they're starting to plan their escape. Meanwhile, Warner is like, has this weird obsession with Juliette that we're starting to unravel. Again, this is why he's giving me the ick. One of the many reasons in this book. And I know a lot of people, see, that's another thing about the biases, because when I went into this book the first time, I really liked Adam because I didn't know anything else about him yet. So I was so confused. when I had finished the book, and then when I got more into book talk, and it's like, we hate Adam, Adam's terrible, like, throw out the window. Then Warner finds Juliette's notebook, which is not good. I'm just gonna like briefly skim over this because I'm starting a Wikipedia summary, you guys. And then Juliette and Adam escape to their house. Juliette meets James, which is Adam's little brother, and Kenji joins them. Love Kenji. Kenji is my best friend, and I think we'd get along very well if he were real. But unfortunately, he's not. But it's fine. It's fine. And then Warner finds them. Warner shoots at him. Then there's another really icky scene with Warner and Juliette where he's like, we could be so powerful together. You and me, we could rule the world. That's not actually what he said at all. That's just kind of like what I remember. Because I read this series in the span of like 5 days. Which I usually never read that fast, so I was very surprised. There's a book that I started 6 months ago that I still haven't finished, and then I read 6 books in 5 days, so that's just kind of how it is sometimes, and that's fine. Read at your own pace. Oh yeah, Juliette shoots Warner, and we later find out, and he's like, she shot me, she loves me, this must be true love, because she didn't kill me, she only hurt my arm or leg, I don't remember what. Anyways, Juliette finds Adam, Kenji, and James, and they go, Kenji takes them to this place that he says is a safe haven, which we find out is called Omega Point. And it's there that they're taken care of, and it's kind of, Omega Point is like their resistance rebel type base, where I mean there's like groups all throughout the country we find out later on, but they are one of the groups who are working against the reestablishment. And it's there that Juliette learns that she's not the only one with these special abilities, but everybody else's, there's a lot more tame than hers, so still very different from the rest of them, which is kind of a point that they make sure to make. But she's not alone anymore, if that makes sense. Although Aaron did give me the ick several times in this first book, I will say we get more information later as to why he does these things, and I guess I can understand from his point of view how it wouldn't seem as weird to him as it does to us reading from Juliette's perspective. But of course I didn't know that at the time, so like, ick, ick, ick. But oh yeah, and then when Juliette punches through the wall, like full on, like full concrete thick wall, she just like blasts through it. Okay, so pick up the baby. That part is actually really important foreshadowing, because we find out like the true extent of her powers, and that's like the deadly touch is just the surface of it, the surface level, and her actual ability is something deeper than that. It's not just like, I touch you, you die. So that's important to note that scene right there. And then she also has this weird obsession with the bird, like the bird with the silver wings and the crown on its head. The white bird with the gold crown on its head, flying in the sky, the birds will fly again someday. I think one of the reasons she got so attached to Adam is because for some odd reason he happened to have that exact same bird as a tattoo. And she just really latched onto that because she had that bird, like she held that bird dear to her as a symbol of finding her freedom one day. Obviously, seeing that on the one person that she latched onto is like a safe person she can confide in, and the one person that actually cares about her and she's not alone and all this, and then she sees that symbol that she's held in her mind is symbolic of her freedom in hopes of escaping the asylum one day, and she sees it on him. She's like, you are my bird, you are going to fly me to freedom. If you think about it, sure they knew each other. They go into the whole backstory about how they knew each other in elementary school or when they were kids or whatever, but it also says that they never spoke a word to each other, and I mean, maybe that's just me like overthinking this because I'm not, like, my social skills are non-existent in the first place, but I mean, how would you form a meaningful relationship with someone that you've never talked to? How would you have that emotional connection before? Because it seemed they got very close very quick, and I think that's one of the reasons that their relationship didn't work out, because they were relying on each other for a sense of security and stability when they hadn't even found their own sense of self yet. They found their sense of self in each other, which that's great. To obviously you want to have like a partner that makes you feel I'm talking about relationship advice when I know that I have never had a single romantic encounter in my life. But back to my relationship advice. Anyways, I think it's important to feel a sense of security around your partner, but you don't want your partner to be your entire identity, which I think was the problem in this case, because obviously, I mean, she's been carted around from mental asylum to mental asylum and been tested on and ridiculed and bullied her entire life. So, of course, when she has one person who's giving her reassurance, she's gonna stay close to them, but I just think their dynamic isn't super healthy. But of course, again, it's a fantasy book. Like, I wouldn't say this stuff wouldn't happen in real life, but you never know. Again, I think Adam does apologize for this later, so it's understandable, but he does, and I guess he's also talking to a kid, so this is like, maybe this isn't even relevant, but he says that he's her girlfriend, or that Juliette is his girlfriend, and I think that like, how long have they been together? I guess I forget how much time passes by. But again, I don't know, I think the whole situation is a little odd, but then again, like, you can't expect them to have a normal relationship dynamic in the situation, because it's just not possible. And like the thing in the front of the book says, you can tell by the end of the book, Juliette isn't striking out her thoughts as much, and she's becoming a little bit more certain in herself. And it's funny because later on in the books, as she becomes more dependent on Adam, she starts using those strike-throughs more, which I thought was really interesting. Book 2, Unravel Me. In the start of this book, we pick back up where I was just gonna say we pick back up where we left off, which that sounds so stupid, because of course we pick back up where we left off. Like, what am I on about? Also, how's Juliette fine with all of this touching and stuff if she's quite literally never been touched her entire life and she's been stuck in isolation? I mean, like, good for her, but I'd be uncomfortable. Juliette keeps on pestering Castle and Kenji, and she's like, what's wrong with Adam? What are they doing to Adam? Why is he acting so weird? Why is he being so distant? And they keep telling her that it's not their place to say, and that it's something that they should talk about together, and it's something that Adam should share because it's not theirs to share, obviously. Meanwhile, Adam's over here having some kind of breakdown. Look, it's a bird! What? And Juliette punches through the floor because they're experimenting on Adam, which, I mean, Balin. Adam! Well, Juliette keeps trying to have this conversation with Adam, and Adam is like, Adam, come on, just tell me what's going on. Nothing's going on, nothing. Everything's perfectly fine. Why would you say anything? Everything's great. Everything's great. So Juliette finds out that Adam can only touch her because his ability that he has an ability that is confirmed. He is working against hers because his ability is to disable other people's abilities. So he has to, like, work against her, like, actively disable her power whenever he comes into contact with her, and it's been draining him and causing him, I don't want to say to get sick, because that's not right, but, like, it's taking a physical toll on him. And obviously Juliette feels really guilty and sad because, I mean, how would you feel if you found out that the only person that you could touch in the entire world, you can only touch them because they can disable your powers, but every time you touch them, you're still hurting them, just in a different way. I mean, I'd be devastated, so she'd take it better than I did. Juliette makes the decision to break up with Adam because, obviously, like, I mean, you could make it work, but it's just not in the cards for them. So they break up. Whatever. Juliette is still training with Kenji, but now that she's She's gotten better at harnessing her energy. We are synonyms, but we are not the same. Synonyms know each other like old colleagues, like a set of friends who've seen the world together. They swap stories, reminisce about their origins, and forget that though they are similar, they are entirely different. And though they share a certain set of attributes, one can never be the other. Because a quiet night is not the same as a silent one. A firm man is not the same as a steady one, and a bright light is not the same as a brilliant one, because the way they wedge themselves into a sentence changes everything. So once again, we have Juliette dropping a poetic monologue, which I always highlight these things because, I mean, how could you not? Sorry if I'm making weird faces at you guys. When I talk, I don't like think about what my face is doing, so I could be like, I promise, like, that's not intentional. And Warner is really making up for his actions in the last book because, I mean, if a guy was talking to me and he like, you know, I like to read too. Just saying. We love an educated man. So Juliette is supposed to train and learn how to harness her energy, and she's working with Kenji actually, which is kind of this, he's still flirting with her at this point, which I think at this point he realizes that like he's not gonna get her, it's more of a joke at this point. Their dynamic is starting to get fleshed out a bit more, and I really love their friendship is actually like friendship goals because I love their friendship dynamic. So she's allowed to go out with the group and steal some supplies from one of the reestablishment's warehouses. So they're sneaking out, and Juliette sees Warner wandering around, and obviously she's like just watching him, and she sees him approach a dog, and she's like, man, this psycho's about to kick a puppy or something. And then she sees him lean down and pet the dog, and obviously Juliette is like,
yeah, I know we have to keep quiet, you gotta keep an eye out, supplies, you know.
because, I mean, if the psychopath is petting a puppy, like, he must be sweet, right? He has a good heart. And he laughed. Heart of gold. And everything's going great, right? Wrong. Then we find out that Warner's dad has kidnapped 4 of their members from Omega Point. So they decide to do hostage exchange. So Juliette goes to meet with Warner's dad because, you know, like, they want her back because obviously she managed to escape the reestablishment. And they're like, we want our weapon back, so we'll give you your people back if you give us our Deadly Touch super weapon back. Tradesies. Then Aaron pops up. Aaron's dad, Anderson, is like, here son, kill her. Aaron turns around and points the gun at his dad instead, and obviously Juliette is confused because, like, what's going on? And then we find out that this isn't the first time that's happened. Or the second time. Or the third time. Aaron's apparently attempted to do this to his father several times, but he's never been able to go through with it. So Anderson's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And then Juliette, like the baddie she is, she shoots Anderson in the legs and is like, pfft. And then Kenji stops her before she can kill Anderson because she's just so overcome by this rage. Then we find out that Aaron and Adam are half siblings, and that Anderson is both their dads. Hello? Then, obviously, since Warner is right there, they're like, let's take him hostage, because why not? So they take Aaron back to Omega Point. Some other stuff happens, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. So meanwhile, back at the base, Juliette is assigned a new job where she is assigned to try to get information out of Warner. Kind of like an interrogation, but not really an interrogation. Just like, man, gotta get something out of the hostage, so he's not just eating their food and getting a free bed, you know? But anyways, he's been like not receptive at all to anybody else who's tried to talk to him. He's like ripping apart the room and whatever. So they're like, Juliette, he likes you. Why don't you go give it a go? And they don't know yet, no one else knows besides Aaron and Juliette that he can touch her. So obviously they're like, you'll be fine. You have deadly touch. He won't hurt you. Juliette's like, yeah. James like slices open his hand on something, which I've already forgotten, even though I just read this 2 seconds ago. I don't even know if it says actually, maybe that's why I don't remember. But he slices his hand open and he's like, it's fine, it'll go away. And they're like, you got like a huge gash on your hand, that is not going away. And he's like, yeah, well, look. So then we find out that James has healing powers, or healing ability. Warner eventually tells Castle that he is immune to Juliette's touch, and obviously that's a shock because like that's something kind of important that like she should have said something about. But again, no, I don't see why she didn't say it. Anyways, it's fine. So then Juliette sees Warner's backs, like all the scars. She's like, those are birthday presents from my dad. And she's like, God, I will say, this is where the Aaron pipeline started. Because like, I feel like you can't read that and not be like, let me give you a hug. And then the Ignite tattoo, which she's like, I'm not telling you what that is, but like, you can look at it. And Aaron is just like, I want to be your friend, Juliette. Let me be your friend. I want to be your best friend that you're with 24/7, that you just love so much, but like, just friends. Aaron eventually, like, over the courses of their interrogation sessions, which are literally just them talking, real good job interrogating Juliette. You should go into the FBI, or be a detective, or some job that includes interrogating people. So Aaron shows her his other tattoos, like the one on his hip bone, which is, I think it's like the hell is empty and all the devils are here. I think that's what it says. And we find out eventually that Warner can feel other people's feelings. So we find out that Aaron not only has one ability, but he has 2, which we still don't fully understand yet, or I guess Juliette doesn't fully understand yet why he can touch her, because we don't know his second ability yet, what it is. We just know that he can touch her, but it's irrelevant right now. And Aaron comes to Juliette's room and is like, I'm dipping, but like, I just want to let you know that I'm dipping. And I think they kiss, probably. I think they do. And Warner escapes. And war again. Nothing like a little romance with the side of war. Juliette is now being carried back to Anderson's house because he's like, you shot my legs? You're done. You're done. The last thing that we end this book with is Aaron heals her with the girls and she's alive for the other 4 books. Book 3, Ignite Me. Boom! I'm so good at this. I say is like, I'm literally so bad at this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we're gonna freestyle this because I didn't really write a script for this one, but it's fine. We start off this book by Juliette waking up in Aaron's bedroom on the base. And Aaron says he wants to help Juliette destroy the reestablishment, which obviously we know that Aaron doesn't like his father, who is the supreme commander. Juliette's a little bit suspicious of this because this is the same guy who's like, let's rule the world together, I want you for a weapon. Which we actually find out that all of those little things that gave me the ick, and this can be explained with some reasoning on his part, which, I mean, it's understandable because if he can sense emotions, it's like, he probably just doesn't understand the concept that, like, she obviously can't sense that back, so she just thinks that he's being a creep. But it's fine. It all works out in the end. So Juliette says she wants to lead the resistance, and this is, I think this book is really the start of when Juliette starts to find her voice. Now that she's not with Adam, find a better sense of her identity and grow as a person by herself, get some confidence.
These all sound amazing. I mean, would anyone notice if I just...
We find out that Omega Point is gone. Like, bombed. Completely blew up. And, I mean, everybody's always like, I knew Conan Gray before he blew up. I knew Olivia Rodrigo before she blew up. Guys. I knew Omega Point before it blew up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had to. I'm sorry. Anyways, they don't know if there's any survivors yet, and then we do find out that Kenji is still alive because, thank gosh, don't you dare lay a hand on my Kenji. Kenji and Juliette go to Adam's house, and we find out that there are a handful of survivors, but everybody else is unfortunately not alive anymore. Castle is really out of it. Like, he's been working a very long time, like over a decade, I think it was. He spent a lot of his time and effort and energy to build Omega Point, as this sort of safe haven for everybody, and it's just destroyed now, so his life's work is gone, so he's a little bit out of it. And obviously that's really affecting Kenji because Castle is like a father figure to him, and seeing him like that hurts him because there's nothing he can really do about it, and he needs Castle, and Castle isn't able to offer him anything if he's just like not there. So Juliette wants to band everyone together and get all her friends so they can fight together, and this like rekindling of their rebellion and like starting again from scratch cause like Castle is back to it, he's awake again, and then we have the little Kenji and Juliette talk on the roof about like friendship and I'll always be there for you, and something else, pretend I'm saying something motivational about friends, and yes. By this point, Juliette can kind of control her ability and like her strength levels that she has, and Adam's going crazy. And Adam is throwing a fit, and he's like, I was happier when I thought she was dead. He's just going nuts seeing how close Aaron and Juliette are. This is where the roles really switched, because Aaron ick, Adam nice. Adam ick, Aaron nice. Yeah, so Adam's basically like, get out of my house, I don't want you here anymore. And Juliette is just like freaking out, and she has this little pager that Aaron gave her when Aaron dropped her off, and she's just like spamming it. Then obviously after Aaron bursts in, is like, what's wrong? Warner invites everybody to like live with him on base so they can use his facilities and regroup and train and have somewhere to live that's not shoved into Adam's family room having a giant sleepover. At this point, we know, I mean, we've already seen Adam's tattoo in like, I think it's the first book, second book maybe? I don't know, I lost track. Anyways, but this is where we realize that the bird is not a literal symbol, the white bird with the gold crown on top of its head. It's not like a literal thing, it's more of a figurative thing. And in this case, Aaron is kind of like her bird because he's her way to freedom, and through him, she's able to get more confidence in herself and realize her full potential. Not as like, not even in the sense as like her ability or her whatever, all that. It's like who she is as a person. Like, she's not a shell of herself anymore. She's more confident, and she wants to lead the resistance, and she's not afraid of using her ability. Not even just, not like as like a, again, not as like a weapon thing, but she's just more confident in herself, which is also why there's a lot less strikeouts in this book, like little strike through lines, because we can tell as the series goes on, she's gaining more confidence in herself until, you know, later on, but we're not there yet. Actually, so I lied earlier. When I said the birthday presents part, I didn't realize, I guess we didn't know that yet, but we find out that these scars on Aaron's back were birthday presents from his dad. Someone needs to give him a hug. Things between Juliette and Aaron now are like really stilted, and Aaron's like, I need some distance, and everyone arrives at the base now, and Juliette's like, I want to take over Sector 45, which, I mean, you do you. And Kenji told Adam that Juliette still loves him, and that's how he convinced him to come to the base. And obviously Juliette is like really upset about this, because she's like, you're telling this guy that I still love him to lure him here, so what's gonna happen when he gets here? Like, what's he gonna think then, when he knows that you're lying? And he's like, Find out that Juliette is basically invincible, and her energy allows her to create this sort of like, I don't know, there's this like super strength part of it that she discovers. I mean, I guess we knew that before, but she can like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a weird thing to describe. She can like make herself invincible, but that doesn't. Adam starts spending more time with Alia too. So like, you know, see, at this point I thought they were gonna get together, Alia and Adam, but like that just never happened, so whatever. But anyways, it starts to look like he's moving on, I think is the point, and that he's letting Juliette go, which is good, because like, you were just really mean to her, like, get away. We don't even want you here in the first place if you're gonna be spewing all this junk. And then Juliette and Kenji get dropped off to practice outside in the middle of the barren wasteland somewhere. And Warner visits his mom. He's like, because he has to go run an errand while they're practicing. He's like, oh, I'll pick you up on the way back. And he's visiting his mom. And then his mom died. Again, Aaron needs a hug. And then Juliette finds out that she can actually turn her powers on and off, which, I mean, she can like touch people now. She's like, hey Kenji! And he's like, ah. But obviously he doesn't die because she can turn her powers on and off now, which, I mean, that's obviously a good thing because she can lead a bit more of a normal life now, which, good for her. And then Juliette tells Aaron that she loves him. And then we have, this scene. If you know, you know. And then we find out that okay, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, please let me know. But when I saw this, in my head, I just been saying it as Delulu. Is that how you say it? Like, I feel like I can't imagine any other way that you would pronounce this. And I just laugh every time because it's like, Delulu is Delulu. Sorry, that wasn't even funny. I don't know, it just made me laugh. But anyways, we find out that Delulu is actually Aaron's grandpa. Talk about really bad family relationships. Like, Aaron, hug. You need a hug. They take over Sector 45, and Aaron finds out that Adam and James are his brothers, which he didn't know before. Again, because only Adam knew about that. He's like, that's my dad. And again, could we have all of this without a side of war? So they all go to war again. Juliette kills Anderson, and Juliette is now the Supreme Commander. Like, go Juliette. Okay, we're gonna take a break from filming because, like, I can't keep talking to myself. I literally sound insane. I've been talking for like an hour now. So, peace. Thank you for watching part 1, and part 2 should be up soon. So, if you want to know how Juliette's and Warner's story ends, go check that out. Thanks for watching!